In 1990, David was introduced to international fashion model Iman at a small dinner party arranged by a mutual friend. Before the night was over, David had set his sights on a new romance.
He claims that he knew immediately I was the one. It took me maybe a week.
After 6 months together, the love-struck rock star proposed to his girlfriend over a candlelight dinner in Paris.
David courted me a very old-fashioned way, which was such a delight. People don't expect things like that from him. You know, they think he's so hip and happening, and you know, but he's truly an old-fashioned gentleman.
In April of 1992, David and Iman were married. First in a civil ceremony, and again 6 weeks later at a lavish wedding in Florence, Italy. David's now 20-year-old son Joe served as his best man.
At his wedding there was Brian Eno, Bono and Yoko Ono. And I thought, there's a gag waiting to happen, Eno, Ono and Bono. How often, you know, do you get all three of those at one wedding?
David swept me off my feet, and I'm still off my feet. He has managed somehow, I don't know, miraculously, to have my heart flutter when he walks into the room still. So, yes, he's definitely the one. He's definitely my one.
In 1993, David's marriage to Iman inspired him to release his first solo project in 5 years. Black Tie, White Noise was a very personal album for David. It included Jump, They Say, a song he wrote about his brother Terry's suicide.
He has no eyes, they say. He has no mouth. They say, hey, that's really something. They feel he should get some time. I say you should watch his ass, my friend. Don't listen to the crowd. They say, jump.
It had been more than 7 years since Terry's death, and it had taken David nearly that long to come to terms with the tragedy.
One almost gets a sense that Terry is this ghostly figure in his whole career, this sort of the path that he was fortunate enough not to take. That always seems to be a part of his work, the fine line between madness and insanity, and his music has, you know, walked that line at times.
In 1994, David Bowie was making a name for himself in a new field, the world of fine arts. Painting had been a creative outlet for the musician since childhood.
David has a great passion for art, and in the fine arts, people, you know, anything having to do with David, they get excited about.
David's accomplishments as an artist and art connoisseur were recognized when he was appointed to the editorial board of the highly regarded magazine Modern Painters. On the music front, David was invited by MTV to play on their concert series Unplugged. Unlike other rock stars who had done acoustic versions of their classic hits on the program, David wanted to perform only new material. This approach failed to fit the format of the show, and he chose not to appear.
I think that artists should stand up for what they believe in. He said some things to me that I call Bowieisms that I keep to this very day. And he would say things to me like, Niall, if you come from art, you'll always be art.
Bowie's choice to put artistry first was also evident in his next project. Outside was a concept album about art and murder.
When David makes a song, he doesn't just make a song, he makes a character as well. All his songs, to me, are like little plays, you know. And he's the playwright, and he's also the actor, you know, in the things. And this was something he tried a lot on Outside.
When it came time to tour with the album, Bowie invited Trent Reznor and his industrial rock band, 9 Inch Nails, to join him.
He said he's just finished a new album that he doesn't expect it to sell well, and if we tour together, he expects his band will probably get blown off the stage because of what he's trying to do, but that's not, it doesn't matter, you know, it's about, I have to do this.
It's a kind of living.
That fearlessness is really, it's inspiring to be around, you know, and I think there needs to be a lot more of that in music today.
There is no hell.
Reactions to the Outside tour were mixed. The LP itself received some critical praise, but as David had feared, it was not a commercial success. Bowie took another chance with his next album, Earthling, and scored a top 20 hit in Britain with the single Little Wonder.
Stinky weather, fat shaking hands, dopey morning, dog grumpy nose. Little wonder then, little wonder, you little wonder you.
In 1996, Bowie's wide-ranging musical achievements were officially recognized when he was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
He understands that he has a huge legacy and that he has left a big imprint on modern culture. He was not someone to look back very much. I think it's hard for him in a way nowadays because people want him to look back all the time, and David still, you know, he's concerned about his latest record.
After nearly 4 decades of personal struggles and hard work, David Bowie now enjoyed a level of peace and satisfaction he had never known before. But despite his groundbreaking accomplishments, the multifaceted artist had no intention of slowing down. At the age of 53, David Bowie became a father again, when he and his wife Iman celebrated the birth of a daughter, Alexandria. David was overjoyed, and this time, without career obligations to keep him away from home, Alexandria quickly became the center of his life.
She's totally spoiled by him. You know, of course, he was over the moon that her first word was Dada, and I kept on telling him, no, that's the easy word. No, he's not buying it.
At one point, I asked him, I said, how are you, how's it going? And he says, oh, I'm a stay-at-home dad, you know.
David owed the stability he now had in his personal life to years of being clean and sober. And all the while, David's relationship with his son Joe had remained close.
My relationships with my friends, my family, everybody around me are so good and have been for so many years now. I wouldn't do anything to destroy that again.
In 2002, David released Heathen under a new contract with Columbia Records. The initial single from Bowie's 35th album was Slow Burn.
These are the darkest of all.
In the fall, David also released The Best of Bowie, a collection of his most popular songs and performances. That same year, the 55-year-old rock visionary continued to energize the music scene when he headlined the Area 2 tour. He was joined on the road by hip-hop artist Busta Rhymes and one of Bowie's avant-garde musical airs, Moby.
The new music that he's making, it's really remarkable. You know, it's just as good as music that he was making 10, 15, 20, 30 years ago.
Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am.
1 month later, the 30th anniversary of Ziggy Stardust was celebrated with a digitally remastered version of Bowie's breakthrough album, along with a theatrical re-release of D.A. Pennebaker's concert film of Ziggy's last performance.
You can still put on Ziggy Stardust, and it could have come out last month, and it still sounds, somehow, it sounds pertinent, timely, effective.